Well, if you're trying to jump ahead in your career or you want to branch out a bit, a networking event could be the answer.
Yeah, having a team of people who speak your business language is an important part of professional support, but being social doesn't come easy for everyone.
Yeah, that's right. Our next guest made it her job to help complete strangers make a lot of connections. Welcome to the show, Stephanie Cartin. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So you are the founder of a community that's called Entreprenista, a league, right? And it gets together in person and online. Tell us a little bit about the power of community, because I know there's a lot of different ways to do it, but you've created a really powerful one.
Absolutely. The power of community is everything, especially when you're growing a business. When you have a community, you have instant access to other founders and leaders and the support that you need. And you can easily crowdsource ideas and problem solve challenges very quickly just by posting things in that community's platform. Specifically in our platform, just as an example, if you are looking to meet a potential client or a vendor, you can post that you're looking for that type of person and you get that instant response and feedback. So when you have community, you have connection and instant access.
Okay, so Stephanie, we know for a lot of people, the thought of in-person connection after so much being virtual can be a little bit overwhelming. So what is your advice for people to gain some confidence with returning back to these in-person events?
Well, first, I want to say that I can absolutely relate, and I actually call myself an introverted extrovert. And after spending so much time doing virtual events on Zoom and not being out in person and connecting and networking, it can be challenging for so many. So first, I want to share to people, like, you are not alone. So many people can relate to that. And I also always say in life and in business, have a plan, because when you have a plan and you set goals, it makes it easier when you show up to these events. So if you are going to a networking event, you want to set goals for yourself so you can feel like you accomplished something, and you can also make a plan so maybe it doesn't feel as intimidating. So let's just say it's a networking event and your goal is to meet at least 2 people that could be potential clients for you. My advice would be to look at the list ahead of time of who's going to be at the event and see if you can identify specifically who you want to meet, and then take action when you get there and go look for those people so you don't find yourself standing in the background and standing in the corner and just waiting for people to come up to you.
Yeah, right. Well, so any advice for finding the right networking events for your goals and your personality? Because I think that's important too. If you feel comfortable, you maybe move around the room or move around the event a little bit easier.
I think the first thing you have to do is actually set what your goals are for joining a community or joining any of these in-person networking events, and then talk to other people in your industry or other founders that you know to see what type of events or communities they're joining, and ask them what has worked for them, what has been successful for them. You really want to identify specifically, based on your personality type and what your goals are in your business, the type of organization or communities that you want to join. So definitely talk to other people and get that feedback. And for a lot of communities like ours, for example, the Entreprenista League, we offer these open house events where we do virtual open houses where people can come ask questions to learn about the community and see if it's the right fit for them.
Okay, so let's put this into action. Let's say you're walking into a networking event and you don't know anyone there. What are some of the first moves that you suggest someone should make, and should they be open to going to these events by themselves?
I say going to these events by yourself is actually a really great move, because if you go with someone you know, what you might find you do, and Courtney and I were guilty of doing this in the early years of running our first business. When we would go to events, we would just stay together and talk to each other and then not go around and meet other people. So if you actually want to build real meaningful connections, if you go by yourself, you have to then go talk to other people. So if you're nervous about talking to people and what to say, remember, ask other people questions. So go up to someone and ask them, what brings you to this event, to start the conversation, and genuinely have interest in other people, learn about them. And I always say givers gain. So if you can learn about other people, you find out what's important to them, what they're looking for, you can then help make introductions and connections for them. And then it really starts to go around.
I know, I'm always so impressed with people that do that. They'll come up and be like, hi, I'm so-and-so. And I go, I'm going to do that next time. All right. Do you have any big mistakes you can share with us when it comes to networking and connecting?
I would say the biggest mistake is if you go to an event, you cannot just stand in a corner by yourself.
Sure.
You've taken the time to make plans to go to an event, make sure that you go after and accomplish your goals. So I know it can seem intimidating, you can feel a little nervous, but just getting over that first hump, go up to people, ask those questions, start building those authentic relationships, and make sure to follow up. Because the biggest thing is when you build these relationships, you want to be sure you can make them long lasting. So exchange contact information and make sure you follow up. The biggest mistake is meeting people and not following up, or then you're not going to have results.
All right. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. For more information on Stephanie or her podcast, go to Entreprenista.com.